Hello. Good afternoon. Um, yes, just try to find you. There you go. Nice, there you are. Okay, I have to turn off chat as well. Yeah, welcome. Nice to see you. While I'm trying to do this. I will do advertisements. If you want to join me in 2 weeks for a conference, you can do. It's in Germany near Leipzig. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Yeah, and you're super welcome to join. There are still places left. Yeah, it's a conference, not a retreat where you have to book rooms or anything. Yeah. What else? I don't know if there is any more advertisements, but that. Oh yeah, there's also another event in the south of what's that called? No, the south of Europe. You're welcome to join. That's in October. Yes. And that's also containing walking in it. Sorry, because I went live just spontaneously, you have to live edit it simultaneously. So if I see him a bit wonky in the beginning, that's why. Okay, but now that's done. It's ready to go. From what I understand, you can all hear. Yes, you can all hear, and you can ask questions in the group Telegram chat. Yes. The most important part with non-duality, and it's the most hardest part, and this is a place in which I slip up, is being authentically yourself. I think I just disappeared out of screen then. Is being authentically yourself. And what I mean by that is in every moment being connected to who you truly are. Not forgetting who you are. Not being in the illusion of the sensory thinking world. So not believing that the imagination and the sensory perception are real, and that your freedom is found in that world. So being authentically yourself is staying in who you are. Yeah, this is somewhere where I can slip up when I'm socializing. I can get, it's a weird thing, I can get, maybe other people can relate to it, is I can get absorbed in other people's body minds. So I don't get really absorbed in this body mind, but I get absorbed in other people's body minds. And even though I still feel connected to who I am, there is an absorption into the external. Which is also illusory. So all other people, all other things are illusory. And I call that old habits and old conditions coming up. Like old seeking patterns coming up. That's what I call it for myself. And there's nothing that's more important than what you are, including the suffering and the feelings of other people. Maybe I'm saying this for the Lisa character. This is a Lisa character teaching. There's nothing that's more important. True compassion, true love is staying in yourself. Is staying as who you truly are, which is freedom. It's not pampering to somebody's ego in order for them to not experience pain. That's really hard. I find that really hard, when there is something that I can do in order to soften their pain. But it's illusion. The greatest compassion is seeing others as nothing, which is what they truly are, not a thing. So an example of where I get tangled is I can see people struggling in their story, and I know how to help them in their story. But I pay a price to go in and do that. So if they're getting caught up in feeling rejected or abandoned or lonely, I can go in and help them understand it and help them release the emotion of it. And that can seemingly create more depth in them. And it's really beautiful. But for me, most of the time, that's not a true expression of nothing. Not all the time, like sometimes that can be. But often in order for me to do that, I have to go into a linear projection of them in time. I have to go into the belief in them in order to do that. And often people need to do that in the process to waking up, to see their illusions and to see their issues. They need to go into themselves. They need to be pointed back to the illusion of their mind. But from my perspective, it sort of drags me into a world that I don't believe in anymore. Yeah. The greatest gift when that illusion has been seen through that you can give is to stay in yourself, is not to compromise yourself. This is a true expression of love. But this might not be the most helpful thing for somebody on their awakening journey. And this is why I always try to encourage people to, go towards that which feels right. It's not like all teachings is right for everybody, or one teaching is right for everybody at that specific point in their life. Maybe the way I teach it's more appropriate when somebody's really worked out their karma. They've really worked out the delusion of their body, mind. And that's really okay to be a teacher which teaches that part. As a teacher, you don't have to teach everything. In a way, if you teach everything, you're kind of like, you're becoming a craftsman of all crafts rather than specifying and becoming excellent at one craft. The human mind, I notice, often likes to be black and white, including this human mind. It can sometimes be black and white as well, this and that. But it's like, this is the ultimate teaching, this is the ultimate teaching, or this is the only teaching. Because the mind, like if it was going to learn the piano, or if it was going to learn a different language, or if it was going to learn how to do something, it wants a particular path in order to follow, to feel safe in its endeavors. It doesn't want to waste its time following a path that doesn't teach it how to play all the notes on the piano. So having one particular path that fulfills all is attractive to the nature of thought. So say like with Buddhism, like I used to be a Buddhist, a practicing Buddhist, and I really loved it. But what I noticed in Buddhism is that the teachers were teaching from books and were teaching from past knowledge, but they weren't really teaching from their direct experience, which was totally okay and totally appropriate at that time. It's not a criticism of it, but there was also a longing for there to be a teaching that was coming from direct experience rather than from something they'd learned out of a book and they were interpreting from a book. But the great thing about Buddhism is because it's been around for so many years and it's been tried and tested, like these books and these paths, can be really beneficial. But it does tend to be, if you go to Buddhist organization, that the teachers are teaching from what they've learned, not really from their experience. In some ways, they teach from their experience, but they don't really know freedom themselves. So, but I can see from the way in which I teach, people could get easily lost if they don't really perceive what I'm doing, or teachers like me are doing. So there can be this confusion and this longing for an A to B, A to B to C to D. Do you remember you used to do those drawings when you were a kid, like 1, 2, and you'd follow the numbers and then it would make a picture? Yeah. Mm. Juicy, 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 juicy. Another thing which I do, talking about myself today, which maybe some other people can relate to, is because I was a student of resonance. So a lot of what I did was I would resonate with teachers. So I would resonate with that emptiness and that spaciousness. So when they were talking about it, it wasn't just through the words, it was through the energy in which they spoke that I could hear it. Although I could see it, hear it, and have the resonance, even from written word. And so another thing in which I do is I resonate with the person that I'm speaking with. So if somebody is contracted or suffering, like I resonate with that. And this too is illusory. This too is going out too far into the external. So, you might hear like picking up people's emotions and feelings and people talking about that. And yeah, and that's something that is because what happened here is in the awakening, like my energy became so expanded. Like the only thing that's left is what's in front of me. So when someone's in front of me, like I'm totally resonating with them 100%. And so then it's like the whole energy becomes their energy. And that too is an illusion. That too is going into the world rather than staying in the nothingness. It's very subtle and hard to see these things. They're very, very subtle. And this goes, you don't really find, Nisargadatta or teachers teaching this part. This is really from my own experience. And so what I've come to realize lately is like really, like what I do is as a conscious practice when I'm with people is I put the attention into the I am, whereas when I'm by myself, I just let the attention go everywhere, which is nowhere. But to stop it going directly into the other people when I'm around them, I just go into the I am. I keep the attention in the I am. Even when they're telling the stories. So when they're telling their stories, it's sort of like you're listening, but not really listening. It might be dissatisfactory for the other person because I think in the past it felt like I was really giving them everything. Whereas this is kind of like a cutting off, it's an illusion. Like you're not giving your whole soul away. And some people that are listening to this talk, they might not have had awakening, but they might experience this because, everybody is free. Everything is free. And then this illusion appears, but there might be parts in which you're more identified and less identified. And there might be a natural like expansion that's there, or yeah. Or when you were born, there might not have been so much of a sense of self. So then there was more energy of going out. Then you sort of like focused in on other people. It's all illusion though. All of it. All of it. Banner, banner, banner. Illusion, illusion. Yeah. It's really funky stuff then that can begin to happen when you go out, because you go out and you'll begin to become other people's emotions and other people's wants and desires. It's interesting. Like if you, some people might know what I'm talking about, even if they haven't had an awakening. And you begin to become other people's emotions and their emotional responses. Like something I know that I've done in relationships is I act out what other people are feeling. So if they need to cry or to break down, I will do it for them. I don't go around saying this to people, even though I'm saying it on the internet now, but I generally don't speak about this stuff and don't recommend you to speak about it to people. Because you can slip into all types of fucked up dynamics if you start doing that. I am crying out your emotion now. Yes, especially don't tell your therapist that I've said this. And sometimes what I notice happens is that people are attracted to you sometimes because they know that you'll act out their emotion. But it's not a conscious thing. They're looking for a release. And so they're kind of looking for the external world to release an emotion because they can't internally release the emotion. But for those people on both sides, it's seeing the illusion of it both, of them both. The one that needs to release emotion, you can maybe go and do body work, different types of therapies, Tai Chi, yoga to help release the emotions. But that's in the end illusion. What is true is this no thingness, this what is. Everything is illusory. The true freedom is what you are, which is this emptiness of what is. Nothing matters. Nothing else is. This is the altar to everything. This is the freedom of everything, this moment. The human suffering, from my perspective, always came from the attachment to time. And the belief that time will bring you freedom. Time can bring you pleasure and pain. Time can bring you change. But time can't bring you that true peace that you're looking for. It always has to be in yourself, which is here. So for those that are new to this subject, then we have to begin to question, who is the self? Who are you? Who are you? And what is it you truly want? You know, if you want to be loved, then you have to create somebody to be loved. If you want to be enlightened, then you have to create somebody to be enlightened. So this is why they say seeking is what creates illusion, because it's seeking to be something, to be a me that can be loved, to be a me that can be better than, to be me that can be richer than, to be a me that can be saving or a savior. To be a me to not want to see others suffering. You have to be a me to not want the world to be in disarray. You have to be a me to want others to be free. So who are you now? Who is it that's looking out of the eyes? Who is it that's hearing me speak? Who is it that's apparently sitting there listening to a talk? If you give up all mental imagery and sensory perception, who's there? Nobody is there. Nobody. Nobody is there. Yeah, so I didn't think there would be any questions, so I thought I could do some quotes from Nisargadatta's I Am That. Let's see if there's any questions in the Telegram group. I doubt it. Oh, yes, there is a question. I'll answer these and then I will do some quotes from Nisargadatta Maharaj. I am that. Love it. So just a reminder, in the Telegram group, you're welcome to change your name. However, you can't change or hide your Telegram ID. Amelia has to be able to identify you. So if you don't want me to read out your name, you're welcome to change your name. You just can't change your Telegram ID. Lisa, I completely relate to everything you say. Thank you for saying this. So how to step out of being so empathetic and taking on other people's stuff? The way that I've begun to do it, it's something I've struggled with since my awakening 12 years ago. It's really something that I've really, yeah, it's been hard, and it got worse since the awakening. So what I do now is I really try to put the personal attention on the I am and not let the mind go into them. No, it's not the mind, the attention go into them, and the mind go into imagination of what they're talking about. So it's like you're listening and not listening. It's the same as what you're doing with yourself. So it's like you've got the internal monologue that happened and you've seen through that and the illusion of that, and there is like a moving away from that. It's the same what you're doing with the other people. But it, it's vulnerable. Like, so it can bring up feelings of not feeling safe, because if you don't really pay attention to other people, you might not pick up on subtle cues, and then you might be unsafe. The other people might get angry because they feel unloved. The people might leave you. So you have to challenge these feelings that come up with it. You know, if you don't buy into people's stories, then you might have to deal with their rage towards that. Because often people need you to believe in their stories. So then it's coming back to what's more important to you. For me, over the years, there's been a bit of an unconsciousness about this dynamic. Like, I wanted companions along the path. At the same time, I didn't want to deal with their rage if I didn't believe their story, or I didn't want to witness their suffering if I didn't believe their story, or if I didn't help them in their story. Yeah. And that's, you know, old karmas that come up in us. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it's certainly something that comes up in me, has come up in me. You know, especially if I'm in a public talk, you know, you're in a room of like 60 people, and the person that's asking the question is really needing some help. And if you don't help them, if you cut them off and say it's a story, you can see quite clearly that there is going to be absolute rage. So then it's like being really comfortable with their rage in that manner. I mean, I've experienced it, you know, over the years of speaking, like people getting really angry with me and believing they have a right to be really angry with me. You know, it's like a funny dynamic. And then you kind of like have to navigate, you know, this big group with someone that's really angry with you. I was thinking more about not when I do retreats, but more when I do open public talks in India or something, or in Asia, where you have lots of people. So you've got to, so the person that asked the question, you've got to find, you know, what is it that you want in that? And really, truly, what everyone wants is freedom. Freedom is you cannot help the other person. The greatest gift you can give anyone is staying in your true self, is being authentically you. But the other person might really not think that's true. It's a real conviction. Yeah, thank you for your question. Thank you for the people that posted the link of the talk. That's super helpful. So, yeah, because I didn't do a card beforehand, it's hard to do all these things when I'm live. Wow, great answer. Thank you. Thank you. I also have another question sent in a different format. Okay. I love the uncompromised message because there's no detour. It's straight to the heart of this. And I just don't really do what's being said. I listen and love to listen for sure. I love it. Direct pointing, as you did with me, works really well. But there's a lot of teaching types of words that make me insecure. I'm not doing it well. Am I dismissing some part of the teaching because my brain isn't built that way? Like in school, economy just got me lost within reading the question even. Like, what is your goddamn question? Or am I somehow unwilling to learn? Am I stubbornly loving the energy and direct message because it points straight home and I want to cut the road or something? See, I'm sure I'm not realized, but there's tons of energy here in Rishikesh. I feel it in my spine. I long and fear for it to sweep me off my feet. You once said, don't give it too much attention when it's at your retreat. My energy moved through my body like something. I don't know what that is. I don't want to turn into some special experience, but isn't it some guide, some wave of surf? I feel this is a wave in my body or something. What's your take? That's 2 questions. Is it? What is the first one? Okay, maybe about the energy and yeah, it's difficult, eh? Like that. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the talk. You know, something like Buddhism is got a path for you to follow, and then you know where you're at. And sometimes it's good to go off the path and go to direct pointing or to resonance. Oh, pardon me. It's bringing up all these things. Yawn, burp. Now I need to go for a wee. Yeah, to be honest with you, in this moment, I just don't know. I am. You are. And that's all I'm a teacher of. I am. You are. This is. I don't know, whether you should be doing this or shouldn't be doing that. That's so extraterrestrial. What's that word? Extraterrestrial. Alien. Extraterrestrial. I was just going to say fancy alien. Yeah. Maybe you should be doing a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of this. Woo, woo, woo. Boo, 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 boo. YMCA. You gotta do the YMCA. I don't know, I am. I don't know what you should do. I don't know what I should do. I'm just here. Go to Buddhism and ask them. Go to a Buddhist monk. It's a joke. I don't know. I don't know. I just am. And you just are too. We're just totally innocent, just looking at each other like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Here we are, here we are, here we are. Oh, yes, I have some fantastic news. Khaleesi recovered. It's just a miracle. I don't know if it's all your well wishes or what happened, but she was on death's door. On Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday, we were going to put her down, and then she just recovered. She just recovered. She's exactly the same as she was before she got ill. So yeah, I mean, obviously she can't keep on going. She's got a dicky heart, and she's something like 80 in human years. off she goes. Oh, that was quite surprising. Yeah, so I don't know what you should do because I am. You are. Here we are. Who are we talking about? Somebody that has this and that and this. I'm not a car mechanic. I don't know how to fix your car. I just know I am. I am. I have to say, I do have a lot of wisdom when it comes to the personality and the character, but that's not my expertise. There's loads of other teachers that are great at that as well. I am. Are you bypassing? I don't know. I am. You are. This is. This is. And the energy stuff. Yes, I understand that. This has happened to me many times before, that you're sitting there and you feel like your insides have maybe been turned into a firework, a fire rocket, and somebody's lighting it and it's like, and then there is a fear that suddenly will be like, what will happen? Who will I be after the funny thing is you will still be you. I am. I am. So even if the fire rocket goes off inside you and you suddenly are the fireworks in the sky, the blues, the greens, the golds, the Catherine Mills, you still will be. I am, this is. And the body goes, this is, I am, beingness, alive presence, empty looking, not anything personal, not a personal I am, not a personal looking, an absolute impersonality. Well, you know now that all my energy wants to do is YMCA, do 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 do, YMCA. I get the fear of too much energy and feeling like you're going to take off. So it's a recognizing who you are. So maybe it will blow up the body, mind. Maybe it will send that energy skyrocketing high. So who are you? What is it that doesn't get high? What is it that won't blow up like a firework? What is it that never moves, never changed, and is always here? Who are you? It's absolute commitment to this. All the excitement's made me need to go to the toilet. Sorry. I will be back. Let's see if there's any more questions. If not, we'll move on to. Yeah, staying with the I am, like eventually what will happen is it will take over and there won't be anybody staying with the I am. So that will become really present. So there will just be who you are and there won't be anybody that's staying with it, divided from it. And then when that happens, after you've had that awakening and that shift, so prior to that shift, yes, stay with the I am. And then after that shift, if you've got a predisposition like mine and the tendency to go into other people, then when you're around other people, once again, do the practice of putting the attention in the I am heart. And then I haven't got further than that, so I don't know then if that will take over and then that will stop you going into the illusion of others. Yeah. And yeah, I am God. Why not? Unless you've got a tendency to be a narcissist, then if you like, that's not criticism if you've got a tendency to be a narcissist, but if you've got a tendency to go in that line of things, and we all have tendencies, then maybe it's better to just stay with I am. I am. Or a tendency to grandeur, thinking, you know, God's a very strong word. I am God. As long as God is known as nothing, not something greater or bigger or better than I am, the all-present God. Yeah, thank you for your questions. Okay, if anyone else has got questions, please ask away. This is my amazing e-ink phone. Yeah, I really love it. It's like a Kindle phone. I use that as my, I have a monitor as well that I use. If you ever see me looking. Yes. Okay. So I'll just randomly pick a chapter and start going through it. I'll try to, I'm reading it with a group at the moment. I do these book clubs. We're only at the beginning, so I'll pick a further chapter. So, okay, we've got absolute perfection is here and now. Keep the mind silent and you shall discover. And there's one more good title in here as well. The unknown is home of the real. I think I'm going to go with keep the mind silent and you shall discover because of what we were talking about. So I'll just read and then when I get to a point of feeling like I will stop, I will stop. So, questioner. Once I had a strange experience. I was not, nor was the world. There was only light, within and without, an immense peace. This lasted for 4 days, and then I returned to the everyday consciousness. Now I have a feeling that all I know is merely a scaffolding, a covering, hiding the building under construction. The architect, the design, the plans, the purpose, nothing. I know. Some activity is going on. Things are happening. That is all I can say. I am that scaffolding. Something very flimsy and short-lived. When the building is ready, the scaffolding will be dismantled and removed. The I am and the what I am are of no importance because once the building is ready, the I will go as a matter. of course, leaving no question about itself to answer. Maharaj, are you not aware of all this? Is not the fact of awareness the constant factor? Questioner, my sense of permanency and identity is due to memory, which is so even something and unreliable. How little I remember even of the recent past. I have lived a lifetime, and now what is left with me? A bundle of events, at best a short story. Maharaji, all this takes place within your consciousness. Questioner, within and without, in daytime within, in night without. Consciousness is not all. So many things happen beyond its reach. To say that what I am not conscious of does not exist is altogether wrong, Maharaji. What you say is logical, but actually you know only what is in your consciousness. What you claim exists outside of consciousness. What you claim exists outside conscious experience is inferred. Question. It may be inferred, and yet it is more real than the sensory. Maharaji, be careful. The moment you start talking, you create a verbal universe, a universe of words, ideas, concepts, and abstracts, interwoven and independent, most wonderfully generating, supporting, and explaining each other, and yet all without essence or substance, mere creations of the mind. Words create words. Reality is silent. He's a master, isn't he? He is a master. Maharaji. Be careful. I'm just going to repeat it because of its profundity. The moment you start talking, you create a verbal universe, a universe of words, ideas, concepts, and abstractions, interwoven and independent, most wonderfully generating, supporting, and explaining each other, and yet all without essence or substance, mere creations of the mind. Words create words. Reality is silent. So what is it in this that's silent? Where is that silence? You don't need to find it because you is appearing in it. But there is this awakening that can happen back to a silence that is. Maharaji in the previous sentences was pointing to a The great thing about consciousness teachings is there is something that is witnessing everything now. And the way that that is known is because everything is being seen. So the character is being seen, the personal awareness is being seen, the room is being seen. So there must be something that's witnessing it which cannot be seen. This witness is nothing, absolute silence, not in movement. And is everything that it's witnessing, everything it's conscious of. I mean, what can be more beautiful than that teaching? What can be more beautiful? What else could you want? Mind imagines it wants this or wants that. In the end, everything will turn to dust but this. It will come and go. What did he call himself, the questioner? A short story. At best, it will be a short story. A bundle of events, at best, a short story. See if there's any comments in that. Hi Lisa, since I met you a few weeks ago, I have become quite dependent on your presence and words. So I was upset that you weren't going to live stream this morning and thrilled when you went live after all. Like I have become super excited at the hope of waking up. That is about to happen, which can so easily fade into hopelessness again. T. Yeah, thank you for your question. So all of that is being watched by something. So the one that wants to wake up, the one that's excited about my talks, the one that then feels hopeless, all of that is being watched, experienced. And the reason that we know that is because it's being seen. So who is the one that's seeing it? This is the home. Your home is the stillness of your being. It's not in the highs and the lows of the personhood, in the character. It's what you are. This is the freedom. This is the freedom. Okay, I read more from Mr. Bliss man. Nisargadatta Maharaj. Maharaj. Yeah, Mr. Bliss man. I call him Mr. Bliss man because I find it so blissful reading him. When you talk, I hear you. Is it not a fact, Maharaj? That you hear is a fact. What you hear is not. The fact can be experienced. And in that sense, the sound of the words and the mental ripples it causes are experienced. There is no other reality behind it. Its meaning is purely conventional to be remembered. A language can be easily forgotten unless practiced. Question. Well, that's freaking true. Somebody that's now, attempts to have second languages, far out. If you don't speak a language, I feel like this with English. If I don't keep speaking it, I'm going to forget it. And so much of your humanness, of who you are, is based in that language of your identity. In fact, everything. Question. If words have no reality in them, why talk at all? Maharaji. They serve their limited purpose of interpersonal communication. Words do not convey facts, they signal them. Once you are beyond the person, you need no words. Words do not convey facts, they signal them. That's brilliant. Once you're beyond the person, you need no words. Yeah. What can I say? He's banging it out of the ballpark. Question. What can take me beyond the person? How to go beyond consciousness? Maharaji. Words and questions come from the mind and hold you there. To go beyond the mind, you must be silent and quiet. Peace and silence, silence and peace. This is the way beyond. Stop asking questions. Question. Once I give up asking questions, what am I to do? Maharaji. What can you do but wait and watch? Question. What am I to wait for? Maharaj. For the center of your being to emerge into consciousness. The three states, sleeping, dreaming, and waking, are all in consciousness, the manifested. What you call consciousness will also be manifested. In tune, beyond consciousness altogether lies the unmanifested, and beyond all and pervading all is the heart of being which beats steadily. Manifested, unmanifested, manifested, unmanifested. Question. On the verbal level, that sounds all right. I can visualize myself as the seed of being, a point in consciousness, with my sense I am pulsating, appearing and disappearing alternately. But what I am to do to realize it as a fact, to go beyond the changeless, wordless reality. Maharaji, you can do nothing. What time has brought about, time will take away. What time has brought about, time will take away. And then I'll go back to this bit as well. For the center of your being to emerge into consciousness, the three states, sleeping, dreaming, and waking, are all in consciousness, the manifested. What you call consciousness will also be manifested. In tune, beyond consciousness altogether lies the unmanifested. And beyond all and pervading all is the heart of being which beats steadily, manifested, unmanifested, manifested, unmanifested. So right now, this is nothing and everything simultaneously. There is nothing experiencing, and yet everything is happening. It's so empty. And all the stories of the personhood is only about social connection and being able to live in a complex society. It says nothing about who you are. I mean, that was another great thing that he said, is words do not convey facts, they signal them. Nothing you think, nothing you say is the truth. The truth is that which they're appearing in, which I'm happy to call consciousness, but like he says, it then goes beyond that. It's nothing as everything. Like consciousness in Buddhism, consciousness too is form, it would be said. But we can use the word consciousness of the I am. Like, they're really great pointings, and I'm happy to speak about them, because when you really truly understand what they're pointing to, you see that what they're pointing to is nothing and everything. There is the slide to the unmanifest. Question: when then all these exhortations to practice yoga and seek reality, why then all these exhortations to practice yoga and seek reality? They make me feel empowered and responsible, while in fact it is time that does all. Maharaji, this is the end of yoga, to realize independence. All that happens in and to the mind, not to the source of the I am. Once you realize that all happens by itself, call it destiny or the will of God or mere accident, you remain as witness only, understanding and enjoying, but not perturbed. Question: you see, this is the problem with words, is our words imply independence. That somebody is independently acting, that life is independently acting. Like our words always have to have a subject and an object that are apparently independently acting. Because otherwise it would just all merge into oneness and you wouldn't be able to speak. So they're set up to speak in two. And they're set up to speak in doership. I went and got water. I walked the dogs. I like this, I like that. But they're not fact. They're pointing to something, but they're not fact. So when it's really seen that you are the witness and that they're spontaneously appearing out of the witness, or they're spontaneously appearing out of the big consciousness. He calls it witness, I tend to call it the big consciousness or just consciousness. Or the unmanifest as the manifest. When it's all seen as appearing directly from that and not from an actual character that exists in time, then everything becomes free. When you believe that everything is coming from time, then you're identified with time. You're identified with yourself relating with a time. Yourself having done this or done that. You being shameful, or you being bad, or you being good. You being fair, or you being unfair. If I cease trusting words altogether, this questioner, if I cease trusting words altogether, what will be my condition? Maharaji, there is a season for trusting and for distrusting. Let the seasons do their work, why worry? Question, somehow I feel responsible for what happens around me. Maharaji, you're responsible only for what you can change. All you can change is your attitude. There lies your responsibility. Question, you're advising me to remain indifferent to the sorrows of others. Maharaji, it is not that you are indifferent. All the suffering of mankind do not prevent you from enjoying your next meal. The witness is not indifferent. He is fullness of understanding, compassion. Only as the witness can you help others. Yeah, that's what I was speaking about in the beginning. And only as your true self can you really have compassion and love. Can you really help others? Not as what you think the others need, or what they think they need, or trying to give them what they need. I'm shutting something on my computer. Sounds like it's going to take off. Yeah, I can feel a silence overcoming me now. Maybe it's from Maharaj's words. I mean, whose words is it? Mine or his or yours? When we come from this moment, they are simply words appearing and they don't belong to anyone. They're as free as everything else. They're as free as the painting on the wall, the room. It's all a coming from this moment. Yeah, if you have any more questions, you're welcome to write them, but I just feel a silence taking over. Okay, maybe that's the end for today. Yes, yes. You'd like to all see the goddess, who I cannot believe is still alive. Like, yeah, it was so, she was so weird and strange and really not well, like really ill, and yeah, and then here she is. She's still here. And she's like, F off, I'm sleeping, woman. I'm an 80-year-old dog, for Christ's sake. And then you're using me on your social media account in order to generate views. F off. Okay. I understand, Khaleesi. We are so happy that you are still here. Yeah, go and stick it up your ass, woman. Leave me alone. All right. Love you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sorry about her language. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And I really, 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 really wish you everything. 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 Yes, how do I stop it now? Yeah, thank you, everybody. Lots of love.